it already, had my tarot read. Things are looking up for me, that's what my tarot said. Been pumping out pheromones and wearing red.
So why basketball?
So I chose basketball mostly because it's always just been in my house. My dad's like an avid sports fanatic, and so basketball, my dad always watched all the basketball games. He's a New York Knicks fan. And so just naturally, just from being in that environment, that was a sport that I just always just kind of leaned towards.
This is how UK came about as well in Bristol Flyers.
After I switched agents, I matched with my current agent, who was Rob Stanley, and he actually knew Coach Kapoulis just from former players also playing for the Flyers. And so during that year, I believe it was 2017 or 2018 at that time, they'd sent players away for the Commonwealth Games that was being hosted in Australia. And so me and my brother filled for their temporary position because they were gone for at least, I think, like a month and a half. And so that was like my first experience in the Flyers. And then what ended up happening is that I actually went back to Germany after finishing that season with the Flyers, and then my brother ended up re-signing.
I know that you're also doing your master's in marketing.
Yeah.
How do you manage to balance your professional basketball career and studying as well?
So ultimately, I would just say it's just time management. I think that, and that just goes with like anything, but especially like trying to balance professional sports and like an academic career, and also playing for the university team as well. It's just like you have to like allot yourself particular periods of time to like get work done, and then obviously I have to realize that ultimately professional sports is like the reason why I'm here. It's how I'm getting paid. And so I have to like kind of prioritize that, but also leave myself enough time to get my work done and finish my degree.
So last summer we had you working for Xledger for a couple of months internship.
Loved it.
Can you tell me how that did come about?
So because obviously I'm doing again, it kind of goes back to university, but I'm getting my master's in marketing, obviously. And so I talked to Steve DeVoe, and he's like one of the guys who like works with the Flyers, but he also like works with our sponsors, and like Xledger being one of our primary sponsors for the club. I told him that I was looking for. I told him if he can like kind of like reach out to like certain sponsors and like maybe just explore like a working opportunity, because I was planning on staying in Bristol for most of the summer. And so eventually Xledger came up, and like he told me a little bit about you guys. He eventually got me in touch with, I believe it was Sarah, and then eventually an interview was set up. I met with Ian, and I met with a lot of other guys who kind of like work in the front office here in Xledger, and then the rest is history.
Did Xledger help you to balance business and sports?
I think, speaking particularly to myself, like I was still, even when I was working at Xledger, I was still training like just about every single day. And so again, it's kind of, so in a sense, it was kind of like similar to how I approach university and basketball. Even though I'm not going to like university classes over the summer, or even though I'm not like playing in university games, I still had to like time management. And so like I had to like work out before I went to work here at Xledger, or I'd have to organize my training for afterwards. So then I'd still try to, so that I'm not just like doing work, but I'm also like continuing my game in basketball as well. And so I think that's something that Xledger was also like very helpful in that sense, because they knew that I was a professional athlete. And so that's one of the things they told me, like they want, with their flexible working hours and everything like that, it just allowed me to not only just get the stuff that I need to get done to further my own career in sports, but also so I could thrive at the firm as well.
Probably you have a lot of memories from that short space of time, but what are your standouts from your time with us?
Yeah, I'd probably say, one of the things I really like about Xledger is their work culture. I would, work hard, but they also make sure that the quality of life for their employees are also enjoyed as well. So they'll also make time for like having fun outside of just the office. So it's not just work. Like I don't think at one point did I ever come into the office and I felt like everyone was just like clocking in. Everyone was kind of walking around with a smile. Everyone was really friendly and stuff like that. I remember toward the end of my spell here at Xledger, they took us out to the Hamptons, and like they also just like orchestrated this whole elaborate thing for us, and it was just a lot of fun. They took us out on boats. They had us in really nice hotels, And so overall, it's just like a really, really fun experience.
Do you have a plan in place already?
Well, I do see myself playing for like a couple more years, but then obviously I'm going to finish this degree. Ideally, this September I'll be able to submit my dissertation, and then afterwards, when the shoes are all hung up, I would like to. End goal is like I could like to work for like maybe like a professional team or like a sporting brand, and like be able to do some market analytics for them and stuff like that. So that's like the end goal. So if I can still kind of trying to basically combine like sports and marketing, like that would just be sensational. So yeah.